Welcome everybody to another episode of Steve's Wrestling Ramble. I'm your host Steve. Earlier today, I did um, a different video of kind. I also did my NFL podcast earlier this week. Talked about the election and its results. My Steve Take series is continuing here on this channel. That as of right now is for the ESPN First Take show and that contest. But excuse me, like I said, right now it's time to talk pro wrestling, WWE. A lot of things going on. Set up for Survivor Series. Next week will be our predictions episode, our big Survivor Series prediction episode. I hope to have it. I hope to have a full house here, jam packed. And if those that I've spoken with, whether it's OK Fabe, House of Reactions, Elena and Elena's team and Elena's after party, Raw Post Show, Joe Cronin's show, JD from NY, his channel, and some others that I've reached out to see if they are interested and able to be part of my show next week. I know I have two people that will be. Excuse me, I have two people that will be for sure guests on this podcast, and that is Matt of Matt's Madness, at Matt's Madness, and Josh, who I met and spoke with, or not spoke with, but met when he was calling in on Matt's show, Matt's Madness, a couple weeks ago, when Matt was going live on Blog Talk Radio and calling in. So it's great to have Josh. Going to be having Josh on the show next week, and Matt. Matt has been on the show before. For those that watch regularly, he was on one of the prediction episodes. I don't remember anymore. There's so many of them now with two per month. But either way, I'm gonna have him, and for sure, or hopefully, we'll see. We can't. We don't know until it happens next week. But Palmer J. Simmons and Mark Rambo, who is my co-host here. My co-host Mark Rambo and guest Palmer J. Simmons to be on the show next week for the prediction episode for Survivor Series. So, so far, at least I have 5 total that are slots that are filled. Technically, I can have more than 10. It's just that if I have more than 10 people, then we have to rotate. We have to do it by rotate basis. And at that point, I kind of have to be a hard ass in a way, be the boss, and make sure people get time. And then when the next person is ready to go, they get their time as well. So just want to get that house cleaning out into the way. Let you guys know, like I said, next week you want to be here on time, just as much as I want to be here on time and start on time. 8 o'clock Central, same channel, same day. So if you're interested and you have other fans that are wrestling fans, and if you're watching this for the first time, let your friends know. And they're welcome to subscribe, like, and share, and all the other stuff for each episode and for the show. Welcome to like the page on Facebook, fan page. Just type in Steve's Wrestling Ramble on Facebook, and on Twitter at WWE_podcast. So with that being said, Mark of Mark Ramble TV, my co-host, will be joining us here shortly as he let me know in our conversations other place that he is on his way. I don't know, making a dramatic entrance or something. I don't know, but waiting. I'm sure he's busy and stuff going on in his life, but we have right now our guest with the mostest, Palmer J. Simmons, here with me until Mark is able to join us. So since Mark's not here, Palmer, first, welcome to the show today. I'm glad to have you back. And if there's some topics that you throw on the table before Mark gets in here, or questions or whatever you have on your mind, because I'm sure you do have something, you're welcome to let it rip.
All right. So, what's up, guys? I'm kind of having I'm sick right now, so hopefully I don't sound off. But anyway, uh, topic is I had one, but I lost it somehow. And it was Were you surprised that Goldberg and Brock Lesnar will face at Survivor Series?
I guess I was surprised that they were going to do and pull the trigger so early and have it at Survivor Series. I was hopeful and pretty predicting kind of in a way on this show and on Talking W with Jay, the other podcast I'm a part of, that it would probably happen at Royal Rumble. And if anything, they would have two matches. They have the first one at Royal Rumble, and the second one at WrestleMania 33 in Florida, which I'm still hoping to go to. But that's the way I thought that it would go. And the fact that they did decide to do this earlier and have it happen here, it's Survivor Series. I mean, I get it, but yeah, I guess I am a little bit surprised by it.
Okay. All right. So, I heard that the cruiserweights are moving to SmackDown if Kalisto wins, and in my opinion, like that would be better than Raw because the cruiserweights didn't they haven't been getting that much attention on Raw. So like, what are your thoughts? Do you think cruiserweights should move on SmackDown or stay on Raw?
I've been saying from the very beginning I wanted the cruiserweight division on SmackDown Live. I thought,
Yeah.
to be quite honest, though, I think anything is better on SmackDown Live. And if you put everything on SmackDown Live, then Raw has nothing, and that makes SmackDown too much. So I guess that thinking is kind of wrong in that way. You know what I mean? In that respect, Raw has to have something. But like anything else, like I said, I thought that in the beginning it should have just went to SmackDown Live. Just the way that things have, and watching it, how it's been progressing and how well it's been booked since the draft, since the brand extension. I really think that the cruiserweights can do a lot, but well, not do a lot better. They're still all athletes, whether they're on Raw or SmackDown. They're good at what they do, but I just think that they'd be booked better, cared about more on the show, and in general, have more time, have to actually time to shine. Now that they have a show that's going to be after SmackDown, or quote unquote now after SmackDown, I think is even better, because if they have something like that, and maybe having matches and have their division focus so much, and you're going to find in that way, then having the cruiserweights on that show makes the perfect sense, makes even better sense than having them on Raw, and then the next night their show is on after SmackDown Live. And that way, if you're having the show after SmackDown Live, it's almost like having a third hour for SmackDown Live without actually saying it's a third hour of SmackDown Live. Because I know we had this conversation before, or at least I have by myself or with Mark on the show, that SmackDown Live shouldn't be 3 hours equal to Raw in regular programming. I know people were thinking about that, or hearing rumors about SmackDown Live going that way, and to be equal with Raw, or hearing rumbles that USA Network wanted SmackDown Live to go 3 hours. In this way, you can almost make it seem like it is 3 hours, but not 3 hours. You know what I mean? Because the show is still going to be 2 hours on the USA Network. Then you go over to the WWE Network, like already beforehand, with Talking Smack and that awesomeness. Now you have 205 Live, and you kind of have another hour of wrestling, another hour of things, and even above that, another hour with it being focused on a specific division, almost like maybe what they should do with the women's division on Raw. Maybe not full hour, but you know what I mean, having its own thing. So I think it would be best. It'd be awesome to have them over on SmackDown Live, especially with their show being over there. Like I said, after that. Now, where are they going to place Talking Smack? Are they going to just have it right after 205 Live, or whatever? I don't know. I don't know how they could do that. I mean, they could also even integrate it during the show of SmackDown Live, like they do for pay-per-views when they have like a halftime with Renee Young and her people and that team there during pay-per-views. Because that's 3 hours. So, yeah, to answer your question, I think it would be best over there, and maybe that's the way WWE is going to go, because maybe they are already giving up on the fact that it's just not working on Raw, and that maybe some of the people were right when they said that maybe WWE just thought of these things just like that in 1 week before the draft, of how they were going to draft and how they're going to book that. Not really thinking ahead too much. So it's either one way or the other. They didn't think about it too much and just decide, okay, cruiserweights are coming on Raw, or these people are going to be drafted here. Or they knew everything down the road, and conspiracy theories would say that they had this plan all along, sabotage it on Raw to move it to SmackDown Live. But we'll see what happens, because you never know. Maybe in the end, D. Brian Kendrick successfully retains his title and it just stays on Raw, and this is all a mute point. But I
Yeah.
have a feeling that it might go, or at least I assume or feel that it would go the other way.
And, I also like SmackDown on Fridays. Like they should bring it back. Like they should bring it back SmackDown Live on Fridays
Mm-hmm.
instead of Tuesdays, cause it's the end of the week. So
Yeah,
um,
I see your thought process there, but I think for logistics and for WWE, I think it's best to have it on Tuesday, and just in general for having their live shows and just how the way things work for the talents and otherwise and the staff that go with because then they have days off later in the week and other shows and house shows that sometimes we don't even know about that's
yeah,
going on, 2 house shows per day or however that works for each brand or overall for WWE. But either way, I think it'd be great to have the cruiserweight division on SmackDown Live. I'm sure we'll definitely be talking about this a lot next week with the prediction episode. Again, like hopefully having it a full house. But before we move on to any other topics or any other thoughts, let's welcome the co-host, co-host Mark Ramble, our Mark Ramble TV. How you doing this evening?
What is going on, Steve-O?
what's up?
What's going on, Palmer?
I'm kind of sick, so
Oh man, I hope you feel better, man.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
So Mark Palmer was bringing up the topic about the cruiserweight division, and he was asking me what my thoughts on if it goes to SmackDown Live or if it should and everything. What are your thoughts overall on how the cruiserweight division has been on Raw, and would you think that it's best for business, so to speak, to have it go over to SmackDown Live?
I feel like it should go over to SmackDown Live because I feel like it's not working necessarily on Raw. Uh, Raw already has enough of its struggles. Um, I just feel like they have more of a audience, more people looking at them because you know Raw right now with the cruiserweight division isn't necessarily working. The cruiserweight division is great in my opinion. I feel like they should have kept it. I don't know why they took it away for that period of time. Now they have all these loaded superstars. Not many people are paying attention to them on Raw. Why not give it a chance to go on SmackDown? Never say never.
Yeah, and like I was telling Palmer, my answering is that for me, I think anything is best over on SmackDown Live, just the way that it's been booked, the way that it could get its chance. And now with the 205 Live show going to be after SmackDown, they can actually have it like a third hour for the show without it being actually on the USA Network and being a third hour to the show. You know what I mean? You have your 2 hours of the show on USA Network,
Mm-hmm.
then you have the 205 Live on WWE Network, and then Talking Smack and otherwise, and go on from there for the rest of the evening of programming in the WWE Network. But I definitely think it'd be awesome to have the cruiserweights on SmackDown, but we'll see how things go on at
Mm-hmm.
Survivor Series, if it is actually booked that way, and WWE has changed their mind or wanted to move it over there. Another thing that might be happening, trades and superstars going to other brands. That brings up an interesting point of things how my things may go down at Survivor Series in all 3 of these matches. I can see someone defecting or being traded away or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get you guys thoughts on that and how that all could happen and have an impact with this whole brand split if trades do happen or if defections happen at the pay-per-view. Mark?
Well, for me, I feel like if trading did happen, it's definitely going to change the landscape. I heard the Miz wanted to trade to go to Raw. I heard they were bringing the Intercontinental Championship to what was that? I think it was to Raw. I heard a whole bunch of stuff, and honestly, they do decide to do trades. I'm curious to see who they're going to trade. Because certain people should stay at their own brand. I feel like the Miz should stay in SmackDown, but hearing other stuff, he wants to trade. So I feel like certain people should stay at the same time. If you want to do something like that, you got to pick the right person for the right, segment, the right situation. I don't mind it. It's just how you do it.
Yeah, and making sure everything goes into place and it works right. Palmer, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Well, I actually like trades. Um, you know, like it's gonna get like similar to like the NBA and the NFL. So like I heard the Miz wanted to trade. So like I think like Raw should trade the Miz for SmackDown should trade the Miz for Cesaro, cause Cesaro he's not doing good on Raw. Like Cesaro he probably get like more pushes and like he probably be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion over there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll definitely beef up the main event roster over there on SmackDown Live if that was the case. I wouldn't mind having Cesaro over there. I mean, as I said before, that's where I would wanted him to be drafted overall. When the draft was announced, having him over SmackDown Live, just as much as I was talking about Summer Rae getting a shot moving over to SmackDown Live and getting a chance to really do anything for her. So, like hopefully that happen, and if they do, like I said, just make sure it's booked right, and you give them a chance. If you are going to have superstars move to different brands and make it worthwhile for the fans in general, and the fans of those superstars, because everybody does have fans, whether they're whether popular or not in majority. So I just hope that at least that that works out, for me in that respect. If they do something like that way for anybody, because it's for Natalia even being the coach of the SmackDown Live women's team, as much as I was joking about that last week, why that's happening, whatever. I think maybe that's being set up for her to turn on her team, and maybe she goes over to Raw or something, or whatever, and other situations going on each team and for each brand heading into Survivor Series and how things can go at Survivor Series. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on that, as anybody and everybody else, of course, going to be when we get to the pay per view next Sunday on the WWE Network. But the next topic, just to get out of the way and talk about right now, WWE Superstars reaction, Twitter reaction, because I haven't really seen any other reaction of any type from the WWE Superstars of the presidential election results. Donald Trump winning on Tuesday and everything. I don't know. Have you guys seen the tweets of any of it?
Yeah. I mean,
I think the best one out of all of them, giving their opinion and everything, I think the best one being Bubba Ray Dudley. I think it was the second tweet about it on the topic about why, why was the pundits wrong and the news stations and everything. That tweet, because I think it actually holds merit to me. So since even though this isn't a politics show, since we're talking about the superstar reaction, I'll let you guys give me your thoughts on the reactions, which ones maybe you liked or remembered at all, if you do remember any of them, and maybe a quick thought on your own personal reaction to the results on Tuesday. Mark.
Oh, actually, I was gonna say Palmer. He could go first if he wanted to, since I went there last time.
Oh, sure, Palmer.
All right. First off, I gotta say, F Donald Trump. All right.
Oh, wow.
F Donald Trump, and we need Bernie Sanders back.
Well, if you want Bernie Sanders back, wait till 2020. So.
Yeah, I mean, Hillary, like she have her ways sometimes, but she should have won that one. But anyway, like my favorite reaction was when you ever heard of that NBA player Russell Westbrook?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he said like when the media outlet said like what your thoughts on the election, and then he said, well, I haven't voted for Donald Trump definitely, so like I kind of died on that one. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Mark? I was ready to say, I'm taking this my turn. Well, this is the thing about the whole election. Both candidates are, they have their own situations. Hillary with the, emails, and then you have Trump with the comments and, the situations with the, how he thinks and, acts towards women. And in the comment and the quote that he said, it kind of made me mad to a level. both candidates are bad. I mean, they're not bad. It's just they have their own problems. But at times like this, you kind of have to pick the best of both evils. You know, you got to pick which one. Both of them obviously have their own situations. And I respect like people who vote for Donald Trump, I respect. It's just their opinion, and you can't change that. They have their reason of thinking that way, and you're just gonna have to live with it. Um, but me personally, I thought the election was actually very surprised. I was actually kind of like, what's gonna happen now type of thing. Um, it was a little scary for me because honestly, I was kind of voting. I wanted to kind of wanted Hillary to win, in my opinion. Um, but it is what it is. Donald Trump's our new president. We're gonna have to live with it, and everything is fine. I feel like you know WWE superstars, they voiced their opinion. Some people didn't like it. Some people did like it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing Kofi Kingston tweet, "Well, something like here it goes, here we go," or something like that. Obviously,
Yep.
I'm assuming he doesn't like Donald Trump. That's his opinion. Certain people don't like Donald Trump because of what he's done. From mocking the disabled reporter. That one I have a little problem with too because he's disabled. You got to show some respect. Um,
Exactly.
One thing I can say though that Donald Trump may have a point with is the 11. It was, I think it's the illegal immigrants, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
He has a point at that, and I just don't see the wall being built, honestly. But I don't see the wall
Yeah.
being built. But it's his opinion. I respect everybody in their opinion. I just feel like everybody has to eventually just get over it and realize, hey, this is our president. We're gonna have to deal with it for the next 4 years. So it is what it is, man. I respect everybody's opinion.
I got one more thing. Like everybody on Instagram was saying, "Oh, he's gonna bring back slavery. Oh, he's gonna bring back
No, he's not gonna do that.
segregation." Like, there's no way he could do that. Like, how in the heck can you send probably 10 billion black people back to Africa? There's no way, man. He can't do that.
They said he was gonna bring 10 million people back to Africa.
Yeah, that what I
Yeah,
heard.
I don't know about that. I don't know about all that.
That's a whole different epithet of a situation to me because
Yeah.
I think in that situation, well, I'm not saying that you didn't hear that or didn't that wasn't said by somebody, but I think that's going super deep into the Trump supporters, as in that the minority of his majority, I guess, so to speak. The uh, the few ruin it for the many kind of thing. That are wanting that are thinking that, which again, their opinion and whatever. But no, I don't see that happening. I don't see any other stuff going on. I know I've been hearing about the protests. I know there actually was
Yeah.
one going on right now as I speak in my state, down in Milwaukee, going on. But beyond that, like Mark said, it is what it is, and everybody has their own opinion, and everybody's entitled to it of how they feel about the election. Either way, whether you're on Team Hillary or Team Donald, um, either way, the election happened. Everybody voted. Your voice was heard when you voted. If you wanted to make a difference, that's where you made the difference by going out and voting. So if your decision was not to vote, that was your decision. Your decision was to vote for third party. That was your decision. Like I said, I talked about this in a video earlier this week. So Palmer, Mark, and everybody else are welcome to check that out to officially hear my thoughts on the election. But right here, like I said, you're upset now. Okay, I understand that because your candidate didn't win, but you had at least your voice being heard when you voted for Hillary Clinton in the election on Tuesday. I mean, she won the popular vote, but Donald Trump obviously crushed it in the electoral college. So, like I said, your voice was heard by voting, and if you didn't vote, that was your choice, and you're entitled to that. Freedom of speech and freedom of choice. Do what you want, and go from there. I know Colin Kaepernick didn't vote, so that was his choice, and I respect that as well. So, but just want to get you guys' thoughts on that, and you know what?
Yeah, it's just it was a crazy election. We're just going to keep it like that. It was a wild election. And both candidates had the issues. I've talked to a lot of people regarding. I asked them. I was just like, who do you believe best candidate? And everything. I've heard a lot of Trump supporters, and you gotta respect it. It's just what it is. You can't change somebody's opinion because everybody has different thoughts about that person. And I don't usually like talking much about politics because it leads to a lot of arguments, and it just
Yeah.
leads to a lot of commotion and stuff. And I'm not that type of guy. I'm a real chill, laid back type of dude.
Uh,
And it's just, it's just what it is, man.
yeah.
It is what it is.
And I hate talking about politics too. Like, I mean, last week we went to the auto shop, and I live in the South, so um, there was this one dude named Ray. I'm not gonna give out his full name, but his name was Ray. And oh my God, man, like he said one of the worst things ever. Like a lot was coming out of his mouth. He he was voting for Donald Trump, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
like he had a "Make America Great" hat on, and like a lot of posters. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the words that was coming out his mouth, like my mom said, don't say nothing because we don't want him to like say something wrong with our car or go back. So like he fixed our car. So I mean,
Hmm.
you know, it is what
Yeah,
it
I
is.
don't. Again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, vote who they wanted to vote for, and half the country's happy, half the country's not. And really, however it would have went, the other side would have been upset. And to be quite honest, I'm a little bit surprised that Hillary supporters are doing this demonstration so much, only because the liberal side usually is the one of peace, and
Oh, everything good?
So,
I think you froze up.
yeah, sure.
Wait, is the live stream still going on?
You want me to check?
Yeah.
Alright. That'd be kind of crazy if it was.
Yeah.
Let's see. Actually, I do think it's yeah.
Oh.
I, yeah, it's just still
Oh.
all right, I don't know what happened there.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
All right, I don't. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I think I was about to try. I was going to share something that was interesting that I saw on YouTube. So I was doing the screen share stuff, and then for some reason it, I don't know, was weird. Like I was doing the screen share, and then all of a sudden, right before I clicked the share thing, the button, the share to actually show it, it everything seemed like almost like it crashed. And at first, I was worried that my computer was going blank because like I ran out of juice and whatever. Like it's like dying here with
Hmm.
battery. But I look at my battery and it's quarter full. It should be fine. It just did a weird hard shutdown out of nowhere.
Hmm.
That was certainly different. But I do see at least the Hangout stayed out going live, and I'm sure you guys were talking about stuff while I was gone here.
Mm-hmm. I was just trying to find out what was going on.
Oh, well, there you go. But I'm going to try to try to share something here. This is all in fun, nothing to take seriously. I did like the video itself, the way it was edited. As you can see here now, I'm sharing it to everybody. You guys can see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to share this. It's kind of funny to think like first time when I heard it, saw it, the whole thing, I thought, hey, maybe this could be the music video or theme song and video for if Donald Trump ever does an appearance at WrestleMania or something. I took it I took it lighthearted than anything serious. And that's why I'm sharing it in a non-serious way, just to let people know ahead of time. But let me get to the start. Play this. Let's see. Hopefully, I have the volume loud enough. Not too loud either. All right, whatever. Here we go.
Hopefully, you don't get copyright.
Well, it's not an official. You know what I mean? I mean, the music is
yeah.
technically, so maybe I'll just show 5-10 seconds of it, whatever.
All right.
Try like 30 or something.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to watch the whole thing? Watch it on your own time. There we go. But I don't know. Just wanted to share that. There's entertainment process. I thought it was kind of entertaining in its own way. But yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know. It definitely did pretty well in there. But anyways, as I'm losing my thought process here, where do we want to go from here? What should be next on the docket of topics? And for next week, to let people know, whoever joins the show, maybe even Stephen A. at Stephen A. 1181, again at Stephen A. 1181 on Twitter. I was talking to WJ, he might join us. Jay himself may be able to join us, just like Mark may be able to join us on the show on Wednesday next week over on that channel, on that show. But I wanted to give kind of a whatever about next week's episode beyond hopefully having it a full house. The format for it will be a little bit different. The way that the show will work in itself is still going to be Google Hangouts and all other stuff and yada yada. So it's not changing its format in that way. It's changing its format and how and what we're going to be discussing in what order, everything. It's going to be, I don't know, seriously a little bit more professional because it's Survivor Series, just like it will be for Royal Rumble, just like really it should be for every episode. But for Survivor Series, it's definitely going to be prim and proper, and we're going to be going through things on my list or my sheet, on my handy dandy notebook. I'll have of what I want to talk about in order verbatim in that way. So things are going to be structured a little more unilaterally, more uniform. We're going to tighten things up a little bit because we want to make this show great. Period. Ever at all. We want to grow this show, grow the channel. And Survivor Series being a big pay-per-view, we might get a bunch of new eyeballs, a bunch of new people watching it. Because if we do have the guests that I'm hoping to have, their fan base already, Mark Ramble TV is my co-host. His fan base has been watching, and Palmer G. Simmons as well. But beyond that, with the guests that I hope to have, I want to show them the best A+ as we can be. I mean, we're not perfect, but I'm just saying. As A+ as we can be, giving our opinions about pro wrestling and our predictions for 2016 edition of Survivor Series that we're on point next week, and on things that we're going to talk about. and we're going to be going through Raw. We're going to be going through SmackDown, what happened. Maybe not every segment, but pretty much in its own
We
little
gonna try.
and then we're going to be talking about general topics, news notes, and predictions. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things, and for however long that people want to stay, they can stay. They don't have to be here for the whole show. And I'm talking to the guests and otherwise that I've been talking to, so they don't have to feel like they have to be there the whole time. They have to go. They have to go, and it's always the same with my co-hosts and others. That as long as they can stay in the state. So I guess it's just wanted to fair warning to the listeners as much as to the guests that I've been talking to, that next week's going to be different. At least in that way, we're gonna tighten things up. We're gonna mute people while others are talking, because I don't want to hear stuff in people's backgrounds. So it's gonna be a thing where when one person's talking, everybody else is on mute, whether they put it themselves on mute or I do it myself. And that's for me too. Obviously, when others are talking, I'm on mute, so I don't hear chairs moving, phones beeping, or whatever. I mean, it happens. I'm not saying it's a bad, terrible thing. I'm just saying we want to try to clean things up around here, make things the best that it could be. Now, people don't have to be on camera. I'm not gonna force Mark or Palmer to be on camera next week. That's up to them. They never have to. If they wish to, that's fine too. Obviously, but
Unlikely I will.
But for anybody, they don't have to. Also, as much as I'm trying to make it prim proper, no one has to dress up either. But so you don't have to be on camera and you don't have to dress up. I might, but as the host, I might, even more than what I'm having on right now. But I might myself. But everybody else, they can wear whatever they want, feel comfortable, because we're going to be here for a while. So that they do on their own accord. And I don't know. What do you guys think of the rules? Do you have any addendums to the rules that you might want to bring up right now as we're talking here live on air?
Oh no, man, I'm fine, man. You created this podcast, Steve. This is your rules. We have nothing but to respect them.
I know, but I don't want to be what about it either. I want to make sure people have their own says too. It's not the democracy.
No, man. I mean, to me, I think it's fine, man. There's nothing wrong with it. If you talk to the other people who are joining the podcast, if they have anything, then maybe they'll say it. But for me, I'm fine with the idea.
All right, and yeah, that's why I want to bring it up on air. So I can hold my own foot to the fire. If whatever, and so people that I've talked to, I'm gonna if I message them again and say, hey, watch part of the up if you haven't already. Where I lay out the rules and regulations for the episode. Now, like I said, I'm not that person to be. I mean, anyways, okay, I accidentally muted myself there. That was fun. Anyways, I don't mean to be strict about things, and that way, because that's not my personality. I'm a laid back, relaxed kind of dude. But in this way, as much as I tried to fight against it, I kind of thought I kind of had to do it for the Survivor Series prediction episode, as much as I would probably have to for Royal Rumble, WrestleMania prediction episode, to make sure that we have try to show us the best product that we can for those episodes, and then obviously in between, each and every week, good quality programming for the masses here on YouTube Nation. We can slowly grow subscribers, slowly become something, slowly be great, be good, be something, and we'll go from there. But again, like I said, you don't have to dress up, you don't have to be on camera. All I ask is that you're on mute while someone else is talking, that you show up on time. When we start at 8 o'clock, I am expecting the people that have said that they can come, unless said otherwise. Things happen, jobs worked a little later, or family, whatever, or phone call just happened randomly then. Okay, things happen. I'm not going to be, like I said, I'm not that type of person in that way. But if you are okay, and if you are able to join at the start of the show, then I expect to be here at 8 o'clock when we start the show. Because next week, for sure, like I said, this is just for next week, not overall, but for next week, I am starting right at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Right at 8, I'm going on whether no one's here yet or everybody's here. And if no one's here, fine. All right, people are late. You're not gonna be fired, or you're not gonna be ripped a new one by me on air or off air. No, if you're late, you're late. If you're have other things to do, you have other things to do. There are things more priority than a podcast. So I understand that. And that's to the guests and to Mark. But I'm just saying ahead of time that that's when it's going to start. And the only reason, like I said, I have to be a little bit bossy, I guess, so to speak, for this episode and be authoritative is because it is the Survivor Series prediction show. Just like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, I want to make sure these are the best that we can have because I want Mark, I want Palmer, and I want maybe even all the other guests, whether they promote it on their own channels beforehand, which would be next week anyways, before Thursday night. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, promoting it to their fan bases, them, having new eyes and ears, whatever, new people watching it, watching the channel for the first time because the person that they like, whether it's OK Fabe, if he's able to join the show, House Reactions, Joe Cronin's show, Joe Cronin, JD, others that I've talked to, Elena, which we've still been trying to talk to, but no response yet, that their massive fan bases, maybe not all of them, but a good handful of them will be watching live or archived of that episode, whether they promote it on Twitter or otherwise, however their fan bases find out and reach out, then that's going to be happening. So, like I said, that's pretty much the notes recording. Like I said, the whole muting system and stuff like that. So, all that going to be said here ahead of time before we get to next week, before people are wondering why I'm doing things that way. So, but hey, I'm sure I'm probably going to be dressed up. I don't see myself, though, wearing a full suit like I have in a couple of videos in recent. I did wear my suit earlier this week when I talked about the election because that was a serious topic, being the election. But beyond that, on next week Thursday night, I don't know, I might at least add a tie or something and button this up. But beyond that, and also I need to shave and get a haircut. So I don't know, maybe I'll try to be 100% authoritative to myself. I mean, to myself, I'm the one who's always on camera. So beyond wearing a tie and adding things that way for myself, looking good, looking better than usual, let's just say. I hold myself accountable just as much as I'm going to be holding Mark and the guests accountable, and the other rules. So for me, being on camera all the time, every episode, next week, like I said, I shave, haircut. I mean, my hair does grow like a chia pet, so get that cut and everything for Thursday night, and then I'm gonna make sure I'm on my A game as a host, as we talk about things to next week and go into the predictions and whatever that I myself, because as much as I have rules for everybody else, I want to make sure that I hold myself accountable for the same set rules and even more so above that. So
that's what's up, man.
But that's for next week, and we'll see if we will see next week afterwards if we do still get a high count. If we do get whatever amount of views and whatever, maybe we don't. Maybe it still stays at 25 to 45 total views, which is great. It is what it is. But if it does grow more, I want to make sure that we have a great product out there for them to see, just in case we do get more people to the channel, more traffic to that episode, being a series in the predictions. So hopefully that happens, because I want to try to do. I know there's other YouTubers that pay, what is it, $5 each time or something, whatever the amount is for Google Ads or whatever that is, the ad service, to promote their video that way. And then if you promote that video that way, I think you like a minimum 2,000 views, because you're going to get people watching, whatever. But I try to do mine organically and normally. So as much as I want people to promote it, and whether it's the guests or otherwise, if it still stays at the numbers that it is right now, then it's going to stay the numbers that it is right now, and we just keep chugging and working hard and making it better. So, all right, that's the last I'll say about that. But looking forward to next week, and hopefully it goes off without a hitch. It goes great, and we have as many as we can, as close as we can to a full house for Survivor Series. So it's definitely going to be a lot to talk about. But for moving on from that and from the Donald Trump video and everything, where would you guys like to go with any topics from this past week in pro wrestling and the WWE? Mark or Palmer, anybody have anything to bring to the table?
I got my question back that I lost earlier.
Okay.
But anyway, we almost hit in 2017 a year. And in June, I believe in June, it's the death anniversary of Chris Benoit. And I know WWE is going to be ignoring that very much. And also, I heard they're making a movie called Crossface. Like, it's about Chris Benoit, and I think WWE is trying to secretly boycott it. But they making it, and like, they're gonna have an actor play Vince and Triple H and Stephanie. So, like, I heard the movie is gonna be talking about steroids and like wrestling. So, like, what's your thoughts about it? Like, would you go see the movie Crossface? Or do you think WWE should boycott this movie? What your thoughts?
Well, I don't think they should boycott it, honestly.
Mhm.
Because it's like it is what it is. I mean, Chris Benoit
Yeah.
he literally had issues with steroids and pills and alcohol, and it ended up being something
Mhm.
bad. He ended up killing his family. That's an issue that will never leave WWE, especially
Yeah.
the history that WWE is supposed to have with steroid use. I mean, you're never going to get away with it. You're never going to leave the business. So you might as well just face the fact that it's there, and just deal with it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the wrestler named New Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. He's a savage. But like I heard, he said in an interview that like he be taking cocaine, and like that what makes him crazy. And like
It's probably right. Because
yeah,
he's really crazy.
yeah. Like I think he stabbed a dude one time. Like
In a
7 years.
match.
Yeah. And 7 years later, he died. So yeah, I mean, like, if we do have this backyard wrestling promotion that I'm still working on, like, I'm thinking about having a character. Like, my gimmick is probably going to be New Jack, but I'm seriously going to ban it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, New Jack. Actually like the dude, really. Like, he be telling some good stories on shoot interviews. Uh, yeah, I mean, like sometimes he be exposing people that we think is good. So yeah, like what my thoughts.
Yeah, WWE, they're probably going to try to stay as far away from the whole Chris Benoit movie, any anniversaries having to do with Chris Benoit. They ain't going to touch that stuff at all. I don't think they never will. He won't be going to WWE Hall of Fame ever. I mean, heck, it's going to be interesting
Unfortunately.
enough to see if Owen Hart ever makes it into the WWE Hall of Fame. So that being a whole different situation, but even that being an issue, with his widow and other things being in the way there, I think it's more on her than on WWE's end. But still, that can be a problem and hard to do then than Chris Benoit in his story, in his situation. I don't see that ever happening. Him going to the Hall of Fame. So WWE boycotting the movie, WWE not talking about it, not promoting it, not on the anniversaries of anything, Chris Benoit birthday or anything, not going to be brought up by WWE because it hasn't yet, and I don't think it will in the future. So, anything Chris Benoit related, WWE ain't even gonna think about, care about, or mention ever again.
Unfortunately, I thought he was honestly. I thought Chris Benoit was a great wrestler. It's just what happened that actually killed his whole career. You know, from doing what he did. You know, it was crazy. I remember hearing it. You know, and you know, I didn't believe it at first because it was just like, you know, did that actually happen? You know, the wrestlers at the time, they're supposed to be huge. You know, supposed to be, you know, just big guys. Nothing much really happened to them. And then, you know, you get Chris Benoit and you get the murder suicide, double murder suicide. It was scary. You know, I remember looking at that, and I remember watching Monday Night Raw. You know, the Monday Night Raw after that, you know, whole situation, and it was just it was scary. Unfortunately,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh.
Unfortunately, it was just, you know, it just killed him. It killed his whole career, and I don't see him being in the Hall of Fame because of it. Maybe later on, but not right now.
Yeah, that was the most darkest days in WWE history.
Besides the Owen Hart
Yeah.
issue, that was probably the darkest days.
It was on national news. Like they had it on CNN and like a few other media outlets. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure like some people are saying like, oh, why WWE bring TVPG, or like why WWE like ended TV 14. The reason because it was the whole Chris Benoit incident. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like the chair shots to the head, they was banned. Uh, the bras and panty matches, they was banned. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that all has to do with Chris Benoit. The whole brown panty matches in the women's division that stopped because they wanted to make the division better and make it stronger, make it more legitimate. The Divas Revolution now to the Women's Evolution. And the women's title belt changing and be the women's title, and now them being called superstars, not divas. All that stuff that's in its own movement and momentum. I don't see that having to do with Chris Benoit. Chair shots to the head having to do with lawsuits, kind of like the NFL and their concussion situation. WWE having the same situation as well. It's them from former superstars, former wrestlers, blaming WWE for the problems now, even though they did it on their own accord, made money off of it, and had good careers, but whatever. So those two situations are in their own situation, their own story, in their own bubble within themselves. Chris Benoit and what happened and him. That story is for his story, as meaning that moving forward from there, W just doesn't want to deal with talking about it, or having anything to do with anything with Chris in that way. So that's its own story, its own drive, its own whatever. But the brown panty match is going away. The church to the head, the curb stomp being banned. Those are in its own separate situations, separate stories of their own accord, and have nothing to do, in my opinion, my humble opinion, have nothing to do with Chris Benoit. WWE going from PG and going away from TV 14 is because they became a publicly traded company. They have stockholders, other people to answer to. Again, another thing in its own situation. So Chris Benoit and a situation that didn't affect all these other changes and all these other things that have happened. The Chris Benoit situation affected Chris Benoit, not just obviously of life, but in his WWE remembrance in that way because he's been kind of wiped off the map there in WWE. So they won't talk about him. So in that way, that's what it affected WWE. And that's that legacy, I guess, so to speak, in that way, but not having the other things, in my opinion, because those are stories in its own accord, as they already laid out for each of them in their own right. Moving forward, on more positive notes, happy notes, let's talk about what's going to be a great week in WWE next week. The go-home shows for Raw and SmackDown Live. Monday Night Raw, we're going to have the face-to-face encounter of Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. Also, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan will be on Monday Night Raw. And then SmackDown Live. SmackDown celebrating its 900th episode of SmackDown. It would really be awesome to see The Rock there. But I don't see that happening. But we will get The Undertaker in his return. Edge is going to be returning for the Cutting Edge as well. Who will be his guests? I don't know. It would be awesome to also have Kurt Angle, but I think they're going to be holding him until either the Royal Rumble or around this time of the year, actually, around 2K17, 2K18, because he might be the poster boy for that. Just like Goldberg is this year for 2K17. So, as much as I would like to see Kurt Angle for this, because he's a big part of SmackDown, just as much as The Rock obviously is SmackDown, being the first main event with Triple H and everything, and obviously SmackDown being named, coming from The Rock and that character of Dwayne Johnson. So I would say it'd be awesome to have The Rock and Kurt Angle there, but I don't see either of them being there. If I had to give percentages, I give The Rock more of a percentage of being there than Kurt Angle, of course. They said the reasons why there, but good enough to have The Undertaker there. Looking forward to that. And Edge going to be there for the Cutting Edge. So a lot of good things coming for this upcoming week in WWE programming and otherwise. And, along with talking Smack and other programming on the WWE Network itself, but for Raw and SmackDown Live, the episodes next week being go-home shows to a major pay-per-view and the other things surrounding the shows as well. So what would be your guys' excitement level with everything that I just talked about for next week's shows of Raw and SmackDown Live? Your excitement levels, and if you're interested in looking forward, or what are you looking forward to most for either show?
Well, I'm looking forward to Edge and The Undertaker. For SmackDown, I feel like SmackDown's obviously the winning brand right now. SmackDown is the brand to be at right now, and I just want to see. First of all, I'm curious to see what The Undertaker's gonna do, knowing that he's coming back. And I heard Edge was coming back, like you said. I don't think it'd be for any wrestling purposes because he's hurt.
Right.
His neck is killing him from last time I saw him. Excited to see them because I haven't seen them in such a long time. For like Edge, especially, his just had a movie coming out. I'm excited because it's superstars I haven't seen in a long time. Undertaker's getting up in age. This could possibly be the last WrestleMania he's gonna be in. And Steve, we're gonna get those WrestleMania packages somehow. But I'm looking forward to seeing how they're gonna do things, what they're gonna do. Is it gonna be interesting? Either way, even if it isn't, I'm excited that Edge and Undertaker are coming back because Edge used to be my favorite wrestler, besides John Cena before he became Boy Scout John Cena. But Edge, the Spirit used to be my favorite. The whole what was it? He was with Edge and Christian, and then it was the Brood with Gangrel or some crap like that. I thought that was cool as well. Then you go from Lita to Vicky. I just thought all those were just amazing to me, and I'm excited. I just want to see what he's gonna do. I'm looking forward to the Edge coming back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Palmer?
Well, I'm excited for the Undertaker to be coming back, cause the Undertaker, he's the GOAT. Like, he's already a legend. And like Mark said, like, I'm just want to see what's he gonna do. Like, is he gonna challenge somebody? Like, could he challenge John Cena? So like, yeah, and like, if John Cena had to face the Undertaker, John Cena would have to be heel, cause it wouldn't make sense to like have like two faces, like another, like, you know what I mean, like um like, could this be his last ride? Like, he might still have more in the tank left in him. So yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to hope we get this stuff done with the WrestleMania packages. I actually got an email this morning about that. Not coming to an end because obviously they're just gonna sell. They're gonna have them sold until everything is sold out, which is why, as I said earlier, get things done as soon as possible. But beyond that, for the Undertaker might have his last match there, and like I said before, it'd be awesome for me for a first show being a WrestleMania. That WrestleMania, if it is the Undertaker's last one, but looking forward to having him on SmackDown Live and seeing him for the 900th episode. Also, just a quick shout out, happy birthday to the Marine Corps.
Happy birthday
For the Marine Corps as a Army veteran. Say happy birthday to the other service academies, other services as well. So just giving that shout out. So, yep, and also for the fans to show that actually that we're watching last week and this week. I know last week we were talking a lot about the WrestleMania packages. They're kind of in depth for sure. We'll let you guys know updated if that happens. If that's big news, obviously you'll tell by my exuberance if news does come down the pipeline between now and next week Thursday. I mean, think about it. If I have confirmation from Mark of things getting done and happening, and then we have our predictions episode, and I was talking about how rules and all this other stuff that's going on for that episode and how awesome I want it to be. Well, I might have a little bit more charisma, character, and bravado, so to speak, if that's the case for that pay-per-view prediction episode, if I can speak, even more so, if that's the case. But I think also I'm looking forward to with Raw, the interaction with the authority figures. To be honest, with Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and McFoley, of course. I think that's to be certainly very interesting, especially now that Shane McMahon is part of the SmackDown team.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. That was that's what happened at the main event of SmackDown Live this week. Shane McMahon being announced as the members taking Baron Corbin's spot on the team for SmackDown Live in the men's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series matchup. I know some are thinking or maybe that he might actually not be in the match, like it's for now, but next week something might happen on the 900th episode where someone convinces Shane that he wants, or someone convinces Shane to take his place, or however it works out. But as of right now, Shane McMahon is part of the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match for the men. Do I see it changing? Probably not, but I won't be surprised. Like I said, I know I've been hearing rumblings about that, of who it could be and how they would do it. I don't know how it'd be booked, but I think if you're going to put Shane McMahon in there at all, you might as well just go through with it. Maybe it's the reason to push Shane in there to set up something for Royal Rumble. Brock's going to be there, of course, because Brock has his match being the main event. We get involved in Shane and Brock have something going on and continuing that situation storyline heading to Royal Rumble. So we'll see how things go next week for the 900th episode of SmackDown Live. But as of right now, like I said, Shane McMahon is part of that. So what do you guys think on that? On Shane McMahon being part of the team right now? And do you think someone will be taking his place, or Shane actually will be in the match when we get to that match at Survivor Series? Palmer?
I don't know. I mean, he could, but something might happen next week. Right. Like, you never know. The Undertaker might be on Team SmackDown, or it could be a surprise. Edge could be on Team SmackDown, but I doubt it. But I don't know. Right now, uh, he might be on Team SmackDown, Shane or Mac. So yeah.
All right, Mark.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with that. But the cool thing is, or the crazy thing is, Undertaker could be coming. I mean, he could be. Undertaker's coming back on SmackDown with Shane being the GM, like you said. Something may go down considering the fact that they just had a match at WrestleMania. So, you know, it. I don't know necessarily how to say it. Something could pop off, but more than likely it won't because they want Shane to wrestle at Survivor Series. At the same time, Shane may not wrestle as much. He may do something that may help Team SmackDown lead them to victory. I actually think Team SmackDown winning it. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right.
It's it all depends on what goes on Tuesday that determines what's gonna go on in SmackDown or Survivor Series to be exact.
Yeah, like I said, I see Shane staying in the match, but I would be surprised. Now, if I wanted a surprise, like I said, Kurt Angle would be the surprise of surprises. And if that happens, right, or if there's a segment on SmackDown Live, let's just put it this way: if there's a segment with Shane McMahon in the ring with the team and saying that he doesn't want to compete anymore, or talking with Stephanie and Mick over on Raw from the previous night, or however they do it. And he says that in his promo, and he has to pick somebody to be his replacement. Now, again, if that was the case, and that's actually the way things are going, when we get to SmackDown Live this next week for the 900th episode, then I would want it to be Kurt Angle, because that would be a swerve, a surprise of surprises. Because, like I said, most of us are thinking maybe Royal Rumble at the earliest, around this time of the year next year, during for 2K18, him being the poster boy there. But if it's here for this 900th episode, and he comes back to be part of Team SmackDown and the SmackDown Live team for Survivor Series, that obviously would be a jaw-dropping moment. And if, like I said, there is a segment on SmackDown Live like that, like I said, I might actually turn on my laptop here and Google Hangout and do a live reaction of it, just in case that there is that big surprise of Kurt Angle or even somebody else. Big surprise returning.
If Kurt Angle comes back,
part of the
all
team.
hell is going to break loose. It is going to be wild in a good way.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a surprise.
I wouldn't mind or hate it if the Undertaker, got his way in there, as you guys were talking about, discussing. But like I said, I see the Undertaker being there maybe just to have a tag team match with Kane and against the Wyatt family, the new Wyatt family, and just be part of the show. But we'll see how things go. And with that unknown, definitely makes me look forward to that episode even more so on our next week for SmackDown Live on Tuesday night. Those are pretty much the big news items I have here from the week of wrestling. Other little news and notes that I saw, but nothing too interesting to me to bring up here for the show. Is there anything that you want to talk about individually from the shows or in general to bring up here for tonight for the episode at this time? Mark?
Well, the update on Scott Hall. I haven't heard much about it ever since him not, answering the phone calls, missed his flight. Anybody know what's going on with him? Anybody get any update?
What's wrong with Scott Hall?
Well, he's not answering his phones from other, wrestlers. He missed the scheduled ring appearance, and he missed his flight. some people are saying that he passed away. I don't believe so.
Oh wow.
But I hope it's not true. But I just thought somebody would have an update considering how big it was. Because I mean, a lot of people talking about it.
Wait, hold up. I'll be back.
All
I
right.
got to go for a sec. Like a couple minutes.
All right. Yeah, I didn't hear an update myself. Not too much. I know I saw a tweet from DDP about it, saying that he hasn't heard from Scott, but he thinks everything's okay. Could be just a relapse or whatever. But yeah, I don't think he passed away or any overdosing of any situation like that of happening. Because if that was the case, I'm sure we'd know by now of that of someone finding his body somewhere. If that was the case, so I don't see that being the case. I think at the worst case scenario, it was just a relapse. Bad timing of the relapse because he no-showed an event. But beyond that, I think that's the worst case scenario to me. But I haven't really heard any actual update since the DDP tweet that I saw a couple days ago. So that's pretty much the only update I have and just heard about in my due diligence about that that situation.
Yeah, I can attest to that, man.
Yeah, hopefully nothing wrong with him. I mean, like he could be sick.
Hopefully we find out soon. Hopefully it's something simple, nothing serious, and then he's all good to go because he certainly has changed his life around just like Jake the Snake Roberts has, and thanks to DDP. So hopefully DDP goes into the Hall of Fame next year or whatever.
Definitely.
Oh, DDP, like that's one of my favorite wrestlers at WCW. Like DDP, like, and some might say, oh, he's part of the Illuminati, but I like him. I think he was the founder of the RKO, really.
The Diamond Cutter, yeah, yes. But whew. Anything else that wanted to be discussed? I can't really think of anything else, Palmer. If there is, we can bring it up and it could be the last topic of the evening because
All right. What if we were still watching WCW today? Like, what if WCW by WWE, like, back when, like, they had more ratings than them and had more money? Would you still be watching wrestling?
I think I still would be.
Yeah.
I'd still be watching wrestling and be interested in seeing how things would have went and what superstars from WCW would have wanted. Who were Eric Bischoff being in charge and who would Eric want to have on the roster? What Vince McMahon's role in WCW would be if he was hired by Eric, working for Eric. How that economy would have worked between those two. All the other stuff backstage, even between the wrestlers of WCW and WWE. The animosity of the Monday Night Wars and everything being so draining. I still would watch, yes, but in the end, I'm glad that it was WWE who won the war because I was a WWE guy. I did enjoy Monday Nitro. I was one of those people that won't flip back and forth because Nitro started an hour before Raw, so I watched the first hour of Nitro, and then when Raw started, then I started just go back and forth. From there. So that's kind of how I did my Monday viewing each and every week when I was younger. So and those times during the Monday Wars of WCW and WWE. But yes, I would still watch. I'm glad it went the other way. Yeah, but if it did go the other way, I would have enjoyed it still. 'Cause it's still professional wrestling and something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, and I got one more thing.
All right.
I heard Ted Turner, the ex-founder of WCW. I heard he's making a deal with Lucha Underground, like to be on TNT. So, like, what your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is that would be very, very interesting, but I don't see it happening. It just seemed like the reason why he got out of it with WCW, not wanting his TV company being associated with wrestling and everything, and his opinion there. So I would rather think that wouldn't be the case. But if it does, it does. You know, it's been a couple of years to say that since WWE been on TV, been a company. So maybe not. But if I had to lean one way, probably not. And that I was concerned. I would rather just have the shows that he has, the number that he has, build it the way that he has since. I mean, WCW. There's a reason he got rid of it, and go from there. That's where I think Mr. Turner would go.
Do you think it will have competition for WWE?
No. Mark? Mark still here? Mark, you there? I didn't mute him, so I don't know what happened there.
He probably walked away for a second.
Probably did.
All right, then. I think we talked about certainly enough here for this week's episode. Like I said, next week's going to be a little bit different. Cut and dry, a little more uniform. But still fun and relaxed for everybody that's watching and those that are going to be participating in the episode. I'm very looking forward to it. For those that watch live, those that watch archive, you yourself are welcome to obviously subscribe, like the video. But beyond that, welcome to promote to your own fan bases, to your family that might, others that are wrestling fans for next week for the pay-per-view prediction for Survivor Series. Because I guarantee it's going to be a gosh darn good one. And certainly an entertaining one as well. The people that I mentioned earlier, fans of those guys, like I said, JD from NY, Joe Cronin show, Elena, especially Elena. Of her after party, let her know of this episode, and then I guess somewhat of a plea to hope that she's able to be part of the show. Because it'd be great to have her, to have other women on here. Not just having it be like a men's club. So we'll see if she's available, as well as her team from that podcast. Maybe the return of Raunchy Mikey might happen next week. Maybe, but we'll see about that as well. But either way, it's going to be a great episode, so everybody definitely check it out. And those that will be watching new eyeballs to the show, you won't be disappointed. It won't be a waste of time. And we'll go from there. But thank you to Mark. Obviously, as always, being part of the show. And Palmer. Welcome to follow Mark on Twitter at LooneyTunes163.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to show Ramble on Instagram. And everywhere else, just Google Mark Ramble and you can find all the social media accounts as well as there.
Ramble.
Now, Palmer, his Twitter handle is a little different, but definitely welcome to follow him on Twitter and check his stuff out here on YouTube, as some say, and elsewhere. Like I said, for this show, everybody's welcome to find it on Facebook and the fan page, Steve's Wrestling Ramble, on Twitter at WW Podcast. And next week's going to be good. Next week, as the kids say, going to be lit. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. And I'm really looking forward to it. I know Mark will be ready and willing and able to go and be at his best at 100% as he is every single week.
Go.
He's at his best at his A game, right? You're always on your A game. And ready to go. Definitely going to need it for sure next week, being on the A game. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to go over the rules again when we start the episode next week with everybody there in case they weren't able to watch this episode with the people that are going to be here. But one last note again for viewers and for my presumptive guests.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start at 8 o'clock. Sharp as attack, 8 o'clock, 8:00. When the clock turns from 7:59 to 8 o'clock, you'll know it's 8 o'clock and it's time to start the show.
Put it on my phone. Timer.
8 o'clock Central. So whether it's 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, wherever you are, remember that is when we're going to be starting And don't worry, if we start late at all, even a minute or two, I'll make sure to have an apology from myself for that. But I'll make sure to be here right on time and start 8 o'clock. And others, whether they're here on time, I'm not going to be waiting for them. But if they are here on time or otherwise, they'll be joining into the show. For sure, I'm going to have Matt's Madness, Joshua from Matt's Madness, Palmer J. Simmons here, as we have regular as a guest here, and the co-host. Of course, it would be really sad to have him now for a while as a co-host and have him miss the biggest show so far to date of his tenure here. So, So there, as of right now, we have 5 confirmed people to be on the show, part of the Hangouts, part of the podcast, and we'll see if we can get 5 more to join the team, to join the fray for that episode. So as always, enjoy the rest of your week. If you're watching Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network, hopefully that game is actually interesting with the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And I know it could be a trap game for Baltimore. Cleveland could get that first win. But anyways, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. As always, I will be doing videos each and every day with Steve's Take, with ESPN First Take. So people are welcome to like that video, share those videos to at ESPN First Take, Stephen A. Smith, and at Max Kellerman, if you wish to share those as well to help me help me get a spot to be the winner and be in the winner's circle and be able to be on that show. Because if I win and I am the male representative and the winner in the male division, I get to be on the show, and you can say, hey, I kind of know that dude there on ESPN First Take for that episode. So that'd be interesting in that way. So next week we'll let you know if there's any updates with the WrestleMania packages with me and Mark. We'll have a great episode talking about the predictions. We'll be going over with a fine-tooth comb of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown live episodes and everything in between. Again, enjoy your weekend, and as always, take care.
Peace.
Stay safe.